All right, what up? It's Leonidas here. And in this tutorial, we're going to cover basically geographic keywords for your Google Ads campaigns. And this is one of the very classic ways of generating keywords for your campaigns. All we're essentially doing is taking a geographic region and appending it to our keyword. Now, there's certain nuances to this strategy, and there are pros and cons. So let's go over them right now. In this case, we're going to create keywords within the US region. So in the US, regions are basically segmented into different categories. And as you can see on the very far right here, we have all the different categories that you can basically put them into. But for this tutorial, we're only going to focus on 4 in particular. In this case, it's going to be neighborhoods/boroughs. So in this case, we have Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia. That's a specific neighborhood within the city of Atlanta. And then also we have Brooklyn, New York, which is a borough within the city of New York. And then next up, we would have the city itself. So New York would be covering Brooklyn, it would be covering Queens, it would be covering Manhattan as well. So now we're essentially talking about the entire city. And then after that, we have the county. So for example, one county in the US is Orange County, California. You typically want to target counties more when you're targeting rural areas or areas that are not heavily populated, but still they might be essentially looking for whatever service that you're providing. And then finally, we have the state itself, which is self-explanatory. In other countries such as Canada, they would be called provinces. So each country is going to have a different naming convention. And how we're going to generate the keywords is we're going to take the city name or the neighborhood name or the borough name, and we're going to append the state. All right. So in this case, it could be the full state name. And then we're going to append the keyword, right? So in this case, it could be Brooklyn, New York state. So just New York and the keyword. So one example could be Los Angeles, California, fence repair, or Atlanta, Georgia, fence repair, or Atlanta, GA, fence repair. And the pros of using this strategy are it increases your ad relevancy stratospherically if you're able to do keyword insertion, especially in the headline number 1. Right? If you're able to get that whole keyword within the limit of 30 characters into headline number 1, this increases your ad relevancy extremely well. Now, the cons of this strategy is that you could potentially be bidding on branded keywords or branded names because a lot of companies do put the city name in front of whatever service that they're providing. So for example, it could be Atlanta Plumbing or Toronto Pest Control or Los Angeles fence repair, because they're simply using the keyword in front of whatever service that they're providing. And when people click, they just click on whatever the first thing they see. And if it has like a specific keyword like Atlanta or Toronto or Los Angeles, they simply click on it and they assume that's what they're looking for, when in fact, maybe they're just looking for customer service and you end up paying for a click that you didn't want simply because it had your particular keyword in it. So you have to be careful with this strategy. And as well, when you're targeting pretty much all the cities and all the counties and all the neighborhoods in the US, this creates a very, very heavy Google Ads account. So then you start to see a slowdown in the speed of your Google Ads uploading, right? You're going to see your keywords start to upload very, very slowly, and then changes start to slow things down because the database has to process a lot more things. Ultimately, it's not that important because then you can just simply leave your account running for like, let's say an hour or 2 hours while everything gets uploaded. But keep in mind that your account does start to slow down. And this is just some of the nuances of using this strategy with Google Ads. So let's go ahead and begin by appending a massive list of cities and counties and states to our keyword. In this case, it'll be fence repair. So here I have a large list of cities and state abbreviations and state names, etc. within the US. This is a list that you can download for free. I believe it's available somewhere on Google, or obviously I'll append it to this video. And what I'm going to simply do is I'm going to copy this portion. Actually here, simply copy, Control-Shift down, and we're going to create a new sheet here. We're going to paste, and then I don't believe we need the city ASCII, so we'll delete that, and then the city name or the state name is fine, and then the county population, we don't need that, and the county name. So first thing we're going to do a appended name. We're going to just do city plus state full, and then we'll do another one here, city plus state abbreviation. And we're going to do equals, and then A2, ampersand, quotations, space quotations, ampersand, New York, or full state name. So New York, New York. In this case, it's kind of irrelevant because it has the name in it twice, but because we're expanding this all the way down, so all I do is like double click here, and we're going to scroll all the way down. So you can see all the names have been appended to the city name plus the full state name. And we're going to do the same thing, but for the abbreviations now. So equals city and state abbreviation. Actually, quotations, space quotations, and the state abbreviation. And now it's New York, New York, and Y. And you can see here's the shorter form. And then finally, this is basically how you do this for appending the city names. But obviously, if you're more advanced or this isn't your first time, you can even append the final keyword here as well. But in this case, I'll do full append, and then we'll do equals this F2, and then ampersand, quotations, and then we'll do fence repair. There we go. So we have New York, New York, and Y, fence repair, and then we'll drag this all the way down. Now, the reason I'm not doing this for the full state name is because the keyword itself is too long. So if I do length here, you can see equals LEN. You can see this keyword is on average going to be under the 30 characters that we require for the headline 1. And we'll scroll over here. So the length of the abbreviated keywords are on average 25 characters long, while if we do the length of the full, so equals length of the full ones, you can see on average they're 32 characters long. So this is an average of all of them. And this is not good for us because we're not going to be able to fit this into headline 1. So instead, we want to use the abbreviated keywords, right? This is what we typically want to use. So now that we have our keywords, we're going to use these ones. So we're going to do Control-Shift down, and we can't import them right away because our limit per ad group once more is 20,000 keywords. So we're going to have to divide this up into 2 groups. We're going to copy this. We're going to create a new sheet. We're going to paste this at the top here. So we're going to paste just the values, and we're going to go and type into here, column 20. All right. So we're going to Control-Shift down here, Control X, and we're going to repaste these here. Our first batch is going to be 20,000 keywords, and our second batch is going to be 11,000 keywords. All right, so let's go into our Google Ads editor. And then within our Google Ads editor, we have our